is to understand feeling, not a particular feeling. Because, see, we can do that all day. You start going through particular feelings, you start weeding stuff. You're just weeding. You can do that forever. It's coming down to the absolute value of just feeling it. Relaxing your body, feeling it. Learning to understand the natural language of being. Now, you have to understand your body is the receptor of the energy. The body feels the energy. The message is transformed. It can be person to person, person to earth, earth to the universe, to the physical universe. Then out of that, because all the feelings, all the things that you feel come from outside of that. So actually, it all comes down to be very simple. Stop. Just stop it. We do have some habits. Those habits were formed when we were children. For instance, you have a child, baby. That baby has to learn to function in the world. It feels the world. But now it's got to learn to function. Now, that's kind of what you have parents for, or guides, or whatever. Generally, they're going to guide you in the ways of confusion. They're going to guide you in the way of the lie. You naturally have within you the natural law. That's there. That's where you start from. In your relationships with parents, they get you focused in physical reality. That's why I say the lie, because it's half of the equation. It's not the whole equation. It's half of the equation. So you learn how to function in however convoluted way you learn that, because you come here to answer certain kinds of questions about physical reality or about relationships or whatever the question is that spirit has. That's what you come here with, this question. So you have to become involved in the question to get the answer. But the problem is we become so involved in the question, we forget we were looking for an answer. Okay? So we continue to do things. Now, perhaps this child learns that if I whine, I'll get what I want. Okay, works pretty well. Or if I'm pretty enough, if I coo enough, or handsome enough, or whatever all that is, then people will give me what I want. So we learn this. What we're after now, what makes it so elusive, is that those things won't work in this case. In this case, the first thing you have to do is grow up. First things first, you have to grow up. The child will say, I'm sorry, and cry. You're not sorry. I know I never was. I'm saying I'm sorry because they told me to say I'm sorry. So this will get me what I want. Not with this. This does not care. about your tears. It is a law. It's a physical law that exists within this universe. It doesn't care about your tears. It doesn't care about your pain. It doesn't care. It doesn't have that capacity. It is a law. Okay? So what you have to do is conform to the law. You conform to the law in order to receive what you want. Paul?
When you say grow up, when I'm here to just own up to it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else besides that?
That's about it. That's about it. To grow up is to own up. Yeah. That's what, if we talk about it in terms of people and there's the stages of personhood, that's exactly what we're talking about. Own up is to grow up. To not own up is childish, not childlike, which is desirable, but childish, which is non-desirable. It is to not own up is a selfish act. When I say it's a selfish act, it is, I'm going to have this my way. Water is
selfish act.
Huh?
It's a foolish selfish.
Foolish
act.
selfish.
Not a wise selfish.
Right. To argue with the wetness of water is foolishness. Doesn't make any sense. But we do that. So, conceptually, is how we have to understand laws, not individually. However, utilizing the individual can take you into the wholeness. But you have to take the next step. Okay? You take an individual law and you use it about you. Now, you come to another step. What does that mean in terms of the whole? Now you have removed yourself from it. You've removed the selfishness from it to see it on a larger scale and see how it works on a larger scale. Now we're beginning to own up and grow up. Okay. You hurt me. That is one of the biggest lies ever told. You hurt yourself by what you think about what was done. See, as long as you hurt me, I don't have to own up. I don't have to grow up. I don't have to change. I don't have to see another dream, because I can put that responsibility on somebody else. The only way we resolve the issue is to resolve that thing that is within us. I like to say that there are hooks and catches. If you don't have this, this can't hold you. I have to understand, you throw the ball, I catch it. You throw the ball, I don't catch it. Psst. You're just honest. It's just honest. Some people are injure themselves because it deflates them. It brings them down. Well, up is not where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be you. There is in spirit, where is up, where is down. There's a natural place of being that is, it's got all the good stuff in it. It is the fabric of what you are. There's a natural high, taking out the word high. There's a natural goodness, goodness, the fabric of God. That's where the word good comes from. You take out one of the O's. Okay? It is a quality of God, which is what you are. So naturally, that's pretty cool. It's the other stuff that's not so cool. Okay? It's the twisting. And trust me, in physical form, most of the way we live is twisted. It has to be, in order to have physical form. You have to have something different than what's natural happen, because physical form is not natural. It's not natural. Spirit is natural. Physical form is natural within the laws of physical form, which means physical form is this big. So everything in there has to play according to that. What really controls it comes from outside, like this. And like that, but into that. So in here we have the world, we have the universe, we have all the stars, we have all the black holes, we have all of whatever all that is. All of this within this ends. It ends. It stops. Your heart stops. You die. Buildings become old and crumble. Events die out with time. All because this is the law of physical reality, encapsulated in this idea. Outside of this, spirit cannot die. The only thing that can go away is form. Spirit is truth. So you have natural law, and you have that extends through this ad infinitum, spirit, which is the natural law, big N. So everything that is physical is actually a distortion. But we become caught up in it, and we make the distortion all that is. You say, but I don't do that. Look at the way you behave about things in the physical world. How those things beat you up. So you do believe that. The idea then is to come to that feeling. Actually, you're going to come to that which is felt. That's a more accurate description. And when you come to that which is felt and begin to realize that this is what you are, now we live differently. We live differently now. But that must be a recognition. In order to have that recognition, we must, what was the word? Not grow up, own up. And let that be okay. That doesn't mean that you can't go through life having physical experiences, of course. That's why you're here. It's just a way in the matter in how you do it. How you do it. It's like dying. You're going to die. It's a matter of how you die. You will die according to how you live. How you live. Remember, I keep talking about the experience of Oshun. She died with a smile on her face because she saw before she died. She saw. So she knew the truth.
That's a really joyous thing, then, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
That's how my dad died, too.
Yeah. It's a celebration.
Yeah, there was no reason to cry.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel sad, but there's no reason to cry. You have to grieve for yourself, not for them.
Yes, exactly. And I think that is what most people do anyway. They grieve for themselves and not for the person that's gone. They realize they'll never see this face again.
that feeling is still there, as good, as strong as it ever was.
As strong as it ever was, yes. But because now we understand, it's different. It makes a difference. Yes.
This technique is simply amazing. They all are. But I'm finding a home in this feeling technique. And what I mean is I'm asking different questions because I'm dropping the labels that I used to put on the energy. And one of the things that I've shifted into is a natural tension, if you will, because I feel great now.
Yeah.
There's still a tension there, and there's a difference between a frustrating tension, as in rigidness.
Let me say one thing about that tension, that natural tension. It is the natural twist that makes physical reality.
That was my question.
There's, yeah. See, like I said, you don't have to ask questions. There's only answers. There's a natural tension between living and dying. A natural tension between living and dying. That tension is okay. When people die, if only for the last moment they recognize the truth, death is okay. It is okay.
They get something out of their life.
Yes. They realized what they were here for and they got it. And that's okay. Why I say what I say to you, to all, is that if you get it, at the end, why not get it early and live with it? That same joy. Have a good time. It's okay. Life is good. Life is good. Life is good. Take out one O. Okay. Life is good. Life is God. You cannot grow something when the smallest part of you controls the whole. You can't grow it because everything is personal. Everything is not personal when you embrace the law of your being. Things are bigger than the individual. The individual really, truly learns that through the acceptance of themselves and the realization there is only one. There is only one. I learned something a long time ago, that every black person has been white. And every white person has been black in some line of reality. We call it history. We call it reincarnation. Why do you think people incarnate in all these ways? To have the experience of the whole. The destruction of the Native Americans. It's both ways. All over. So what we have to do is come to understand and see that, wait a minute. When I see the one, it's like, wow. All along, it's all been self-hatred. All along. It does not matter what sex you are, what color you are, what national origin, how tall you are, how short you are, it doesn't matter. What matters is what's inside of you. Now, when we order that, we can work together. Now it's not personal. It's about the uplifting of the whole. The uplifting of the whole. You're going to have better organizations because people are there to answer the question of whatever problem has been set up to be solved. They're not there for their personal self-aggrandizement.
That's what's wrong with governments?
Huh?
Is that what's wrong with governments?
That's what's wrong with governments, yes. I mean, if you look at the scandals that have happened, many of them have been out of some person with family values and all that. It's got to be men and women, yeah, and tapping out messages on the washroom stalls and and all this. So it's all come out of a lie. See, we lie. And what we cannot lie to is the law of the universe, the law of cause and effect. You can't lie to that because it just reflects what you really feel. Okay? That's what it does. There it is. There it is. It reflects what you really feel. It doesn't. That's why you can't debate with it. You can't argue with it. You can't bargain with it. Because it doesn't have the nature of your mother and father with whom you could debate and argue and irritate until they said yes. It doesn't have that. It just gives you back what you put out. And it keeps pushing you into a corner, into a corner, into a corner, into a corner. So finally there's nowhere to go except die or get it right.
Totally personal.
Yes. Yes. And that's what happened to me. It pushed me into the corner until I was ready to die. And when I was ready to die, I was ready to hear the answer because it's no longer about the small I. It is now about the large I. And that includes everyone. Everyone. We have to see clearly. If you don't see clearly, if you see part of the iceberg, you got to see all of it. There's a story. Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, George Bush are captured in Iraq. And what they decide to do is put them before the firing squad. Okay? Bill says, I'll go first. They put the blindfold on him, line him up. Ready, aim. Bill yells out, earthquake. Everybody drops to the ground. Bill takes off his blindfold and escapes. Okay? Next up, Barack Obama. They line him up. Ready, aim. He yells out, tornado. Everybody hits the ground. He takes the blindfold, escapes. George says, oh, they use catastrophes. That's how they got away. Okay, so they line him up, put the blindfold on him. They were ready, aim, and he goes, fire! So you can't just get part of the message. You got to get the whole message involved in the circumstances. To do that, everything falls away. You see clearly what you're in this for. You see clearly what this is. You can build something because now you can cooperate. When someone comes to you, if you're in a job and someone comes to you and says, look, this needs to be changed, this needs to be changed, this needs to be changed. you don't change it because you become involved in a personal thing. You are responsible for not allowing that thing to function as it should function towards success. Then it's a struggle pulling that person along, pulling it along. Now you look at businesses and you look at government, and that's what it's about, struggling and pulling, dragging someone along. It's like health care. There's no reason why people cannot have health care in this country. We spend $1 billion a week, or is it a day, in Iraq? Is it a week, a day, whatever it is, for the destruction of the world. How about for the construction? You see, we're pulling the wrong direction. Everything has to pull towards the same direction. In order to see that, we must see what the problems are. And the problems are human. The problems are human. So then everything must be focused toward making the human condition better. That is a large expansion of consciousness for the human race to pull together to make it work. Wow. We are, as in the joke, we are all George Bushes. In that we're not looking at the whole thing. We're looking at this. We're looking right here when all this is beneath it. We have to see what being on this earth is about. We have large groups of religious people who don't see that. So I ask the question, what good is that religion? If you can't solve a problem because you already have an idea of something that allows you not to feel your humanity, does not allow us to do what we need to do to succeed at what we're trying to succeed at. In many instances, one of the things we do is we rule by force. Fear. You're going to lose your job. You're going to do selfishness. Well, I'll step on you if it means my getting to the top. How about doing my job and that being the criteria for getting to the top? How about that? How about not feeling so sorry for ourselves that we can't get to the top? Feeling so sorry for us. Oh, poor me. Oh, this has happened. I don't know if I want to go to work. I don't know if I want to do. Well, what about family? That's a child that needs to grow up. That stuff weighs you down. What about trying to fit in? That's a child. How about being your natural self? Not all this crap. Not the personality that you have tried to put together so that you fit in. How about being the God that you are? How about that? How about giving an honest effort at what you do because it makes you feel good? You give an honest effort, you get an honest result. because that law of the universe is going to give you what you want. I know she will probably be embarrassed by this. Probably don't want to hear it. But there's an example in this room. We have an Academy Award winner. Honest effort. We talked about her pain in certain things at some time, but she went back to her work with a different understanding, and boy, when I heard, it was like, damn, yeah, to overcome something, to overcome a problem, to achieve something. And that's the simplest thing. What do you want? What do you want? You want to achieve? It's the same thing within as without. If I want to achieve knowledge, real knowledge of myself, I've got to erase or get rid of that which is not real knowledge or that which controls me. I've got to spread that. I must be responsible. I must look at the situation and say, wait a minute, this is in my way. Okay, now I can't deal with that anymore. And that is a decision. When you need to do something outside, you look at that condition. You say, well, okay. Here is the problem. These are the conditions of that problem. Now either deal with that and get it to the point X, or I walk away. One or the other. If I'm near the end, I deal with that issue so that as best I can, as best as the others involved in that will allow me to do, bang, I do it, done. Problem resolved. Move on to the next and to the next and to the next. Anytime your personal ego becomes involved in it, anytime you feel bad, you feel incapable, you feel put down, that is your ego being involved in it. You don't need to do that. When you know who you are, you do what you can do. You make sure that you give your best effort, because giving your best effort makes you feel good. That's it. That's it. That is your reward. Giving your best. Understand, you are not going to change the world, and you most certainly are not going to change the world by what you say. Because everybody's got an opinion. Everyone has one. No, it's not about you. It's about you. Big Y-O-U. It's not about small you. It's not about all the pains and stuff that you have had as a little kid. It's not about what you brought forward from your childhood. It's about the big you. It's not about whimpering and whining to get what you want. It's not about being cutesy or handsome and masculine and all whatever all that crap is. It's not about the Jag or whatever it is that you drive. It's about the larger you that achieves, I'm going to use a word, but I don't really mean this word, greatness. And I use that word because it kind of sets people out apart from lack of greatness. But actually, it's naturalness. It's what you naturally are to achieve. Being simple. No pretenses. You, what you are, big U, big capital U, is good enough. That big U or capital U generally is not good enough. Why? That is why we add persona, false face, trying to be something that I'm not. Trying to be someone that I'm not. Who you are is good enough. Because you are as good as anyone.
Only if you don't own up to it.
Right. If you don't own up to it, that's the other part. That's the other part. That's the unnatural part of it. You are not good enough when you don't own up to your goodness. You know, all you got to do is do what you do. Do the best you can at it. Don't leave anything out. When you look at it, put all the parts in there, go to work. With this technique, I'm glad you are finding that how much it works, how well it works.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You know how difficult it is to really get people to work? And I'm just trying to clarify today. All right? We think, in general, and this is not certainly not everyone, but the largest percentage of people, we think we work diligently and hard when we don't. Well, I don't want to say hard because I don't want you to work hard. I want you to work right. That's the deal. Hard work is, that's too much trouble. That's too hard. Work right. And when you personally get your personal stuff out of the way, it becomes much easier. It's not about all that. It's about doing what you set out to do. We have to, as she indicated, at this point, she has worked at that thing because she's been in such misery and she's worked at it and worked at it. She can now, in her dreams, do the technique and things change. You just have to do it. You have to be committed to do it. You have to be committed to doing it. You got to be the bacon, not the chicken. You got to be the bacon. The chicken provides the eggs for breakfast. The pig supplies the bacon. That means life has to be given. You have to commit to that effort to die. You have to, when you say, I'm going to do this, that doesn't mean, Ananda, I'm going to try. I don't care in that way. I only care when you start trying to bring the madness over here. Now I care. Now you're getting ready to get cussed out. Big time. You trying to lay that trip? No, hell no. I don't accept my own crap. Why would I take crap from somebody else? No. You give that to yourself. You commit, I'm going to do this. Now, what was it he said? Oh, he said, do it without making it hard. Okay. Okay. Well, this comes up in me. I'm changing my mind. Well, I'm changing my mind. I'm changing my mind. Now, this becomes the habit. Now, this is the way of life. like this. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. You wake up one morning, and it's all over with. And you lived a miserable life. Look around you. What is around you is a symbol of who you think yourself to be. Pay attention. The dream within a dream within a dream. The things in that dream when you put your head on the pillow at night and go to sleep are manifested by you. This dream is manifested by you. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Look at the things that are in your life or not in your life. The holes are just as important as the things. And see your own mind at work.
I've been working on the dreams. I find two things happening. One is that within the dream, I start changing it to make it go. Is that something to practice?
Depends on what you want to do. Some things you want to change in the dream, and that changes the outcome during the day. Some dreams, or some, as in certain things with the world, you want to just experience, because that provides you with a different kind of knowledge. But both provide you with knowledge. If you can change that dream, you can change this dream. That is one thing. The other is, okay, let me accept this and let me see where it goes. Okay. Either way, knowledge happens. The beauty is you are aware and in control. That's the beauty. That's the point. Either way. That's the point. What we need to do here in this dream is be in control. Be in control. The only way you're going to be in control is to see and understand what you see. That sometimes takes practice. Because at first you won't know. First you won't know. But that happens a few times. Damn, that hurt. Good thing I didn't do what I started to do. So, if you are in control, you can change things. For instance, a job or a relationship or whatever in a group of people. A lot of times, if you want things to be different, you can't tell them you want it to be different. You be different. Hold your position. Never let them see you sweat. Be solid. Be real. In order to not be disturbed by others, you have to have understood what it means to be real. I understand that I cannot drink. I understand that. I have a sip of beer and I'm drunk. I'm flat out drunk. Back of my neck tightens up. And it's like, oh, man. All right, I understand this. I read the articles. A little wine helps your heart. Carol had some wine. Here, have this.
It's grapes now.
It's like, I don't do that. I should have known. The last drink I really had, I had to pull the car over to the side of the road, open the door to throw up, opened the door, fell out of the car, threw up in my chest. It's like, good symbol. I shouldn't be doing this. So don't do it. That's deciding. That was when I was 21 years old. That was a few days ago. Okay. Other than trying that little wine to help my heart. We decide. That's all it is. What happens when that feeling of whatever it is that you do, it's all the same thing. What happens when that feeling, when you've said, I'm not going to do this anymore, and that feeling comes up to do it? You either choose to do it, or you choose to do the technique and understand the feeling. It's that simple. Well, I did it and it didn't do. It did. You just didn't pay attention. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Well, how many times do I have to do it? I don't know until you stop that bull crap. That's how many times you have to do it. Till you recognize, wait a minute, all I'm doing is making a choice each time. I have to make the same choice until I see. If you're doing something physical, in order to create the muscle memory, you have to execute that technique at least 2,000 times. And then it becomes muscle memory. You don't have to think about it, you do it. Well, okay. Since we are high Western achievers, let's count. I want you to do that technique 20,000 times. That's what I want you to do. And so the thing, too, you want to understand is that it's about feeling, period, not just, quote, bad feelings. It's to understand the whole feeling thing. That's what you want to do. Use it to understand feeling, period. There is power in feeling. There's more power than you could realize. You realize there's more power in the energy surrounding one thought. There's enough power in there to heat and light New York City for 100 years. There's enough energy there. You imagine that? The heat and light New York City is, that's a lot of energy. The way you create depends upon the amount of energy you put into your creation. If you keep putting the minus goal energy into that creation, what you're going to receive is minus goal. Whatever your goal is, whatever it is, you have succeeded in many things because you have put the right energy into it to greater or lesser degrees. Most often we put the energy into the thing that is easiest to do. And it is easier to not do the right thing. It is easier. Because your emotions and stuff get involved in it. You're saying, boy, I should crack this sucker in the head. Oh no, I'm not thinking that. But you just put all this energy into it. I watch a lot of television. Television gives you looks into humanity that, I mean, wow. You look at a popular show and you go, what in the hell? People are watching. Oh! This is what's popular. Well, that's a big slice of the idea structure of humanity. But I saw one that was I thought was pretty cool, where they caught the serial killer. There was this guy who had killed like 13 women. Well, he went to this one woman's house. She comes in from outdoors, and he's standing there with his big knife. Well, she was chopping wood outdoors with a hatchet. And he went, oh, and she went, you always get the idea the cops were the fingerprints. Well, there's the whole hand over there if you like it. But what you had was a person who said, no, I'm not going to be afraid of you. I am not afraid of you. Face the situation and survive the situation. That's the point of that. That's the point of that. See, when you are afraid of whatever situation, that situation has power because you've given it power. You've given it the energy to achieve what its purpose is there. That might be your life. It may be many other things. But she took her power and said, oh, no, not today. You have to, see, we all have to stop and take a look at ourselves. I know within me there are the darkest corners. I know that. I know it. And I dare say that there's not one person in this room that could not kill, given the right conditions. Given the right conditions. And then there are those like me, who when you show up to kill me, I say, I've been waiting on you. Come on. I got my little hatchet right here. What matters is that we desire to do better. We desire to live better. We desire to feel better. That is what matters for every individual. This, the way it is, has gone on forever and will continue to go on in this way forever. Because it is the only way that we gain knowledge. It is the only way that we can gain knowledge. This is not the only place to be. We think that it is. It's not. It's not. It's great. Things are happening again in the last, 4 or 5 days or something, where everything was going like this for me. Now it started to turn back the other way. I was sitting, I can't remember now, playing somewhere, and everything started to happen in the heart. The first thing I wanted to do was look at the sky. That's what I wanted to do. To look at the sky. Wow. What an awesome place. What a beautiful place. A little skitsy, but what a beautiful place. If I have my choice, at that moment, I just want to see the sky. That's what I want to see. It is that acceptance that allows us to be different, to be better. I'd like to thank you for your time.